everyone, and welcome to my corner of the world. Today I'm going to be sharing the Pansy Petals Suite, and you'll find this on page 28 and 29 of the annual catalogue, and it consists of the lovely pansy patch stamps, and then the pansy dies, beautiful designer series paper, and then these cute little bumblebee embellishments. Now I think there's 24 in a box, and you can see I've given these a pretty good use over the last few weeks. They are just so cute and I love them to bits. So I thought I would use this video as an opportunity to explain how to use the stamps as well as the dies so that you can get the best out of them. And then I will have a follow-on video where I'm going to use that as an opportunity to show you a fun fold card that I've made, and I'll show you a little teaser of that toward the end. So the stamp set has got lots of lovely pieces so that you can build up, as well as some greetings. And those of you who've seen my videos before will recognize that I do love a stamp set that has images as well as words. I find that they're really useful to have both. And then inside we've got all the little pieces, and you can see there's lots of them, and it can be a weeny bit confusing. So that's why I thought I would take the opportunity to show you how to use these stamps. So I'm going to just take a piece of cardstock, and you want to choose some colors that will go well together. Any colors that you have in your stash will work. I'm going to use the following ones, and I'm going to build up my pansy from outwards in. And you'll see that there are, there's 4 stamps to build the big pansy. And I'm going to be using those with slightly different colours. So I'm going to start off with the biggest one, which is, if you like, it's very, if you want to look at it, it's sort of very plain in as much as it doesn't appear to have an awful lot of detail on it. And for this, the widest part, which is, if you can see, it's kind of got 2 petals. That is the top of the pansy. So just a little bit of ink, and I'm just going to stamp at an angle here, like that. So that's my first layer, and I've chosen to use Fresh Freesia. That's one of the new ink colors. So that's my first one. And then I'm going to pick up on a darker color, and I'm going to use Highland Heather. And so my next stamp, you can see that there's a bit more, if you like, detail, lots of sort of little nooks and crannies. So that's my next stamp. And all I'm going to do is line up this hole here with the gap that's on my original, and to just layer and just try and line up without getting my head in shot where the petals go. And it's easy with these lovely photopolymer stamps. You can see straight through them. And there you can see it's added another layer of detail. And I found that these colours do mellow as they dry. They may look a little bit raw at this time. Then I'm going to use the third one. And you can see I put a little bit of cardstock on there, so I knew I was going to be using the right one. And again, it's smaller, but it's got more detail. And can you see these sort of rounded bits at the top? Well, they're the bits that are at the top, and they're going to match up with these pieces here. So for this one, I'm going to be using Pale Papaya. And again, I'm looking to fill that gap in the middle without getting my head in shot. Can you see there? And then my final one for this big flower is this. It's like, I don't know, it's the center of the flower. It's like stamens, and it reminds me a little bit of Santa Claus's beard. There's his two bits of moustache, and there's his little beard there. But that may be just fanciful on my part. Okay, so I'm going to be using the soft succulent on this one. And again, I'm kind of lining it up in there to give me the center of my flower. So pretty. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so as I said, there's also some sentiments in this, so I'm going to use this piece of card to do that, and I'm going to position it, making sure it's the right way up, of course. Yep. I'm going to position it around about there, and I think I'm going to use my soft succulent again. Again, try not to get my head into shot. There we go. And now I'm going to show you the smaller pansy. Now this one has got more sort of detail, and it's an easier one to stamp here. And all I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to stamp it a couple of times, and I'm going to use the Pale Papaya, and I'm going to stamp once up there, and I'm going to bring another one down here. There we go. And then with my soft succulent again, and my little Father Christmas Santa Claus beard, I can't think of it any other way now, I'm just going to pop in on my little piece there. There. Now, one of the reasons I've stamped it the way I have is I'm going to be using this in my next video to show you how to make this card. And this is a pop-up sliding card like this. It goes in an envelope like that, and then when the person gets it, they can just pull this part down, and then they've got a really unusual fold. So come back and see that video. Now I'm going to show you how to use the dies. So I'm going to set that aside, come back for that one on the next video, and just clear my bench a little bit. Now the dies, I've got them all laid out here. There's a few more over here left on here, but the dies, I'm going to gently move this to one side. I've done some pre-cutting, so you're not just sitting watching me die cut. But some of the dies will actually cut the pansies from this sheet of designer series paper. So you'll see that it will cut the big ones and the little ones. And so you've got a whole host of pansies that you could cut out and use, and you get 2 sheets of this design. Now the other paper that is also in the pack is this lovely leafy one, and you'll be able to cut out the leaves from these as well. And there's loads of leaves on a sheet, and you can actually build up a card using those cut out pieces. Fabulous. And I'm gonna have a go at that myself, and I'll share the card with you at a later date. And also, if you look at this piece of paper, if you're stuck about what colors to stamp your pansies, well, here you've got the most fantastic thing to follow. We've got purples and pinks and peaches and yellows. That should give you plenty of inspiration. So there we have the paper. And then I'm going to work with you on how to build up if you decide to cut them from card. And I've already done the majority of cutting ahead of time, but I'm going to cut my last two pieces, and I'm going to use my mini cut and emboss machine. I love this. I've even sat watching the TV with this on a tray in front of me and cut out some pieces for a project. So I'm going to be cutting out these two particular dies are the ones that sort of cut out the sort of veiny shapes. I've already got the basic leaf here, and I'm going to cut these out. And with this, all I'm going to do is use the little thin plate it comes with. I'm going to place a cutting plate on top of that, and then my card, and then I'm going to put my two pieces down, a cutting plate on top, and then I'm just going to start, I'm going to push in and start cranking, and now I'm just going to hold on the top. And I'm going to do it slowly. I'm not racing through. I want to give the rollers the time to put pressure on the cutting edges of my dies. There we go. And as you can see, here are my pieces. I'm going to pop those over there, flick those off, and then you can see that the little pieces came out really nicely. There we go. Let's get that bit out of the way. Now I'm going to show you how to stick them all together. So I've already done the little bud, and I used this piece here and these two pieces, and all I've done is just layered them on top of one another so that they sort of peek out here. Now, I haven't done anything special. I haven't done any sponging or anything like that. I will do, but on future projects. But I just want, as I say, to show you how to use these dies to start with. So to attach, I'm going to use some liquid adhesive, and I've got this on my silicone mat. The reason I like to use it, it gives you some working room. So for the purposes of my flower, I'm going to cut one of these big pieces here. Here it is. You can see it's got lovely veining on it. It really does all the hard work for you. And then I'm going to cut one of these pieces as well. Okay, and I've cut that one in white. And I'm going to attach it to this piece here. So I'm going to use my pick your tool, just dip it into my adhesive. And you don't need a lot of adhesive. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the bits, the pointy bits, as I like to call them, here. The bits that can lift. And I'm just putting little dots. You don't want a lot, because if you do, all it's going to do is sort of squidge out and get all over your fingers. And it's only a tiny piece. It's not a card. It's not going to weigh very much. And so it's not like it's the weight. And then I'm just going to position it. And because I've used liquid adhesive, it means I can use my fingers to sort of move it around. and I am looking to line it up with the edges of the fresh freesia cardstock. Can you see? There we go. So that's that piece. Press that down. Let it dry for a few moments. And then you're going to cut 2 petal pieces. Oh, didn't put that die out for you. Oh, there. No, there it isn't. Never mind. So you're going to cut 2 of those. And you're going to cut 2 of these. And that's your edging pieces. So I'll pop that to one side. And I'm going to repeat exactly what I did with the white piece. I'm just going to put little dots. It's probably easier to see on this darker card. I'm just going to bring that up, and hopefully you can see that there is not a lot of adhesive on there. And then I'm just going to repeat again. Position that on, press it firmly, and there we have our edge piece. So I've got 2 of those. Then when it comes to the leaves, I'm going to repeat. I just showed you how I cut those with the dies. And we need a little bit more adhesive. I'm just going to put it, as I say, on the sort of tips of things. And again, I think you'll be able to see even clearer on this one how little adhesive I've put on. So making sure you pick up the right one. Again, I'm just sliding it into position. And as I said so many times before, that's the benefit of the liquid adhesive, because it gives you a little bit of room, playing room, time to move your pieces around. So again, I'm going to put a bit of a blob on them there, and then on the little sort of loose pointy bits, just tiny little flicks. And this one's going to go on my little leaf here. And you might just need to shimmy it around a bit just to get it lined up. There we go. Isn't that just the cutest little beast? So there's my 2 leaves. There's my 2 top petals. And then there's this bit will go like that. And then the last piece is this tiny little piece here. And that's the same piece as the little stamp that I keep calling my Father Christmas moustache and beard. See, it's that piece there. But then it's a die cut piece. Okay, so those are all our pieces started to stick together. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my flower together. So I like to just put a little bit of a bend in here just to give that a little bit of life. It doesn't look quite so flat. And again here, and you can do this once the glue has dried a little bit. And I've just put a little bit of a bow. It just makes it give it a bit more life. Okay, so now with my glue dots, I am going to stick these 2 petals, and I'm just going to overlap them a little bit like that. Press that firmly, and then I'm going to put another glue dot at the very base here. There we go. I don't know if you can just see that there. And I'm going to attach it to the back of my 3rd petal, like that. And I'm just pressing really, really firmly just to make sure that the glue dot catches. And then I've got my little Santa Claus's beard and moustache. And I'm going to put a little bit of my adhesive on the mustachy piece and then some on the beard piece. And if you look, there's a tiny little sort of circle. Let's see if I can guess. Can you see there's a tiny little circle there? And that is you're going to match that up with the circle piece on the little beardy thing. It kind of goes, it circles that little piece there. And then with my leaves, I'm going to just use another couple of glue dots to attach them to the back. So the glue dot is going to go on the front of the leaf so that it can attach to the back of a petal. I think I'm going to pop it there just to give it a bit of balance. Okay, so there we have our whole flower, our beautiful bud, and how we have used the stamps. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Go ahead, give me a thumbs up if you did. I will put a link below this video to my next video, which will be out in a few days after this one, which shows you how we can use these pieces to create a card. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining me. I certainly hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.